Good morning and welcome to Westfield, Indiana. The drama continues on the road to the Little League World Series in Williamsport. Must-win games for both of these teams today. Webb City, Missouri, the state champions of North Dakota, Fargo Little League. Each team has played 3 games. Each team has won 2. Winner of this game gets the loser of Iowa and Minnesota on Friday. Greetings, Jim Barber and John Gregory. How about these numbers, John? ERA for both teams. For Missouri, 1.05. North Dakota, 1.35 through 3 games. What's that tell us?
Well, it tells us that pitching and defense, in my opinion, can win this tournament for you, and wins a lot of tournaments. And ironically, both of these teams that have one loss today, Iowa beat both of them. Iowa gave up 1 run in both of those ball games. So pitching and defense can win you a championship.
And Iowa is a favorite to win this tournament and get to Williamsport. Luke Beverland today on the mound for Missouri, but it is his bat. 4 of 8, batting .500 that's been most notable.
Yeah, he can speak loudly at the plate here with a base knock up the middle, but shows the ability to move the ball, put it in play, and he can display some power too, as you can see this one right here over the head of the left fielder.
And when he's not hitting, he's pitching, closing out a game right there. Just 1 inning of work, and he was perfect in doing that. For North Dakota, Colby Hansen, only 2 of 11. But Hansen has been an opportunistic guy, especially yesterday.
We went extra innings. We put a guy on second base for the first time, and Colby Hansen comes up big. You don't have to hit the long ball. You just have to have the key run, and he got it in for this team.
2 even teams playing today for a right to get to the semifinals. After the closeout yesterday, North Dakota now in position to try to beat Missouri today. First pitch is coming up here in northern Indianapolis. Today, as you might expect, the skipper of North Dakota, record of 2-1. He is elected today to go with starting pitcher Matt Bryant. You spoke to him prior to the game. What are his thoughts?
Yeah, pretty calm. Kids are happy. You know, they've had a lot of fun at the tournament, but they're focused on this. They know very important morning for them, and this is the first opportunity to play early morning, so he was wondering how they would react to that. But Matthew Bryan on the mound, you know how he's going to react. He's a guy that's a leader on this team. He's been the starting shortstop, been a starting pitcher out there, so a guy you're very comfortable with, and this team's very comfortable with having on the mound. He's going to throw strikes and let that defense play behind him.
And he has been difficult to hit. That's a challenge for Missouri. Nobody's been able to get a run off of him. In fact, just 6 hits in 7 innings, already 4 strikeouts. All right-handed hitters against the right-handed thrower, except for Andrew Young, who's had a great tournament. 4 of 9 with a run batted in and 2 runs scored. Then Cohen Epler, Luke Beverland the pitcher, Derek Wagner in the 4th spot, Brody Eggleston batting 5th. Jackson Pickett hit 6th. Brock Renfro has a hit in this tournament, 7th. At the bottom, Dutch Bird, 2 for 3 with a run scored. Ready to play. There's Matthew, ready to work. All 5'1", 95 pounds of him.
Number 6, Andrew Young.
Right off the bat, John, tough out right here, and Andrew Young. And first pitch swinging. And we are underway.
As a fan, you know, you look for great matchups. You love playing as a player. You want to play against better players, good competition. Well, this is a tremendous matchup, as you mentioned, good speed at the plate.
And ballpark temperature, baseball-like today, 79 degrees with plenty of sunshine. Count a ball and a strike. Missouri trying to polish off both Dakotas, defeating South Dakota yesterday and coming back quickly now to play Fargo. Doesn't it seem to you like we see Webb City here every year?
Yes.
I'm a constant companion to Little League regional play. Hoping to drive up the pitch count, besides trying to stay alive in the first at bat. Andrew becomes 13 years of age shortly. As you know, no 13-year-olds are allowed in the league anymore. To second base, Caleb Brigham, 1 out. North Dakota has been good defensively. The outfield pretty much avoiding problems except for Benson Grandy, who's had a couple of mistakes. At the shortstop position, Caleb Christensen has handled 12 plays, 11 flawless. Kobe Hansen at first base equally as good. And then catcher and pitcher Brody Eggleston, pretty good about blocking balls that get into the clay. Benson Grandy, though, in center field's got speed and can cover a lot of ground. Cone Epler 2 for 8, and he has a run scored. You know, if you live in Missouri and you like the NFL, you better go with the Chiefs, right?
Oh, yeah. Got to be a homer.
Two balls and a strike.
You mentioned, I'm sorry, Jim, you mentioned the defense. Both of these teams have played extremely well behind that good pitching that they've had. I think a big part of that is taking away that 13-year-old really has taken away some of the long ball in this regional tournament on both sides. In the Great Lakes and the Midwest region, we've seen less home runs and more ground balls. So defense has even become a bigger factor, I think.
And it's a good point. It has made the games more competitive with 10 to 12 the age range as opposed to 10 to 13. Or even the possibility of 9 to 13, which is a bit of a mismatch. Cone Epler works a walk with one out here in the Missouri first. Now the pitcher and batting in the third spot, Luke Beverlin. The son of the preacher, Kyle Beverlin, bench coach, along with Bretton Bird and the manager, Brandon Eggleston. Huge night for Luke last night, 3 of 3 with a couple of runs batted in. And highlighted him here in the beginning as a major part of Webb City's offense. This one up in the air towards center field. Benson Grandy with the glasses down, one-handed catch, 2 outs.
We talk about it every morning. One of the things coaches get concerned about, and this is Fargo's first time playing in the morning, is that sun is behind home plate, behind the press box, and you can see him do a really good job using that glove to deflect that sun and make the catch.
Which leads us to the right fielder, Derek Wagner, waves at a change of pace pitch, strike 1. Start time for both of these teams in the Central Time Zone today, 10 o'clock. Towards short. Going to go the long way, and the inning is over. Caleb Christensen adds another assist to his total, 12. To the North Dakota first. At the top of the order, the pitcher, Matt Bryant, upon Arbor. Now the North Dakota first in the bottom of the first. On the mound today for Missouri, Luke Beverlin wears 11, left-handed thrower, strong thrower at that. Also already has closed out a game in this tournament, John.
Yeah, a guy that you want to have on the mound, again, somebody that they trust. He's a guy that coaches say he doesn't get too high, he doesn't get too low. It's a calm presence out on the mound and for this team. So having him out there in a day that you can win or go home is very valuable for Webb City.
Probably his key today is trying to get past the table setters in the North Dakota batting order. Matt Bryant leads off is 5 for 10 in the regional. Benson Grandy equally as good, 6 for 12. Then Caleb Christensen, Colby Hansen, and Andrew O'Neill, followed by Caden Newharth, Quinn Miller, who scored the winning run in the 8th inning last night, Alex Christofferson, and Caleb Brigham, who's doing nicely in the 9th spot, 2 for 4. Manager of Missouri, man in the middle, Brandon Eggleston, along with coaches Bretton Bird and Kyle Beverlin. Brandon's record so far, as we mentioned earlier, 2-1 in 3 very tightly contested games, including the one that went 8 innings, and that was the game, John, where Quinn Miller was the designated runner to start the 8th inning as the new rule takes place. We begin with a runner on base in that 8th inning, and he scored the winning run.
Created a lot of excitement. Extra innings, you get to the 8th, and things happen fast. Be ready for it.
Matt Bryant, like Andrew Young, a tough out in the top spot. Winner of this game stays alive in the tournament. Loser is gone, and the winner gets a day off to play then Minnesota or Iowa. The winner of that game tomorrow will then meet in the semifinals with this winner on Friday. That is slated for 11 Eastern, 10 Central. 2-strike pitch. Not many lefty versus lefty battles in this Little League Regional.
No, we've seen some lefties on the mound, but nobody quite like Luke Beverlin as far as mechanics go. I think he's really good mechanically. We've seen some herky-jerky lefties out there, some crafty lefties, but he's a big guy with a good fastball, and you can see there as he delivers that in there. Really takes his time, well balanced, gets a nice push off, and that fastball can really get in there on you.
Luke, one of 4 children, along with Titus and Joel, his brothers, and sister Macy. Mom is Crystal. Benson Grandy, 6 of 12, batting .500 with a run batted in and 3 runs scored. Another good table setter on this team. On the bounce towards short. Cohen Epler with the play, 2 outs. Missouri, much like defense we saw with North Dakota, particularly strong in the infield with Fletcher, Epler, Bird, and Renfro. The outfield is Pickett, Young, and Derek Wagner. Luke Beverlin throws, and Brody Eggleston catches. Cohen Epler now at the shortstop spot. 13 chances. He has handled 11 flawlessly.
In talking with the Missouri coaches before this game, that's one of the things that they highlighted, that they're happy what their team has been able to do is play that defense, because they take a lot of pride in it. Coming into this tournament, they said, you know, that's one of the keys for this team. They've got to play well defensively, and they've stood up to any challenge that they've had.
CC Caleb Christensen waves at a high fastball, number 3 hitter in the lineup, and a count of 1-1. Missouri went down without a threat in the first. Got a 1-out walk. North Dakota has had its first 2 runners or batters retired. Hitting in the 4th spot, Colby Hansen. He is in the on-deck circle.
Please return all foul balls to the nearest dugout.
Should be interesting to see where these 2 teams would be right now had they not ran into Iowa. Missouri in their game 1 lost 2-1 against an Iowa team with a really good pitching staff.
Yeah, Missouri had its chances in the 6th inning when Iowa had to make a pitching change, as Will Nuss could not go the distance, having exceeded 85 pitches. And in relief, back-to-back doubles gave Webb City a chance, but died on the vine and lost 2-1. Pretty good bat here for Caleb Christensen as he is protecting that strike zone.
North Dakota, basically the same thing. They shut out Kansas in their first game 8-0, came back and had to face that Iowa team and good pitching staff, and they were shut out in that ball game. So again, Iowa in the 2 games only gave up 1 run to these 2 teams.
Landon Fletcher. Speaking of defense, perfect inning defensively for Missouri. To the Webb City second. Brody Eggleston will lead off, then Jackson Pickett and Brock Renfro. Scoreless first inning. Missouri with the middle batters coming up in the second. John Gregory, Jim Barber today on ESPN and what you might call the quarterfinals prior to the semis. Let's take a look at Little League Baseball World Series division at a glance. Again, the age is just 10 to 12 now for the first time. As you know, a 6-inning game where it takes on a different dimension. If we get to 8, the minimum mandatory play has been something interesting. The umpires do a nice job of reminding coaches later in the game if a player has not appeared, because If it happens that that player doesn't get a chance to do what he's supposed to do, namely bat or play the field, depending on the number on your roster, the coach would be suspended at the conclusion of the game and for the remainder of the tournament. So, assuming that everybody's tracking these things, but sometimes has a tendency to forget, the umpires are there to help out. Bernie Eggleston, the catcher, is 1 for 7 in the regional. Facing Matt Bryant, working his second inning here, and right now, John, through 8 innings. He has walked just 1, allowed 4 hits, and he has struck out 6.
What'd you say that walk number was again? 1. Yes. Yeah. And because of that, teams have scored not many runs against the team because of the pitching. Not giving the free passes we've seen in this tournament, of course, as we do every year. Free passes turn into runs and bunches at times.
Yeah, the really good teams have stayed away from issuing those passes. Pitch to contact, make your fielders do the work. 2-2 pitch. 1 out. And don't worry about the overthrow in the right field. There's nobody on base. The journey to the Little League World Series begins for many in T-ball. Visit littleleague.org/T-ball to learn how to give the youngest Little Leaguers the opportunity to have fun and learn and grow the game. We have fun playing a Little League song here, kind of a parody of Little League baseball, the tensions that managers face. This one headed to right field, base hit. Jackson Pickett's first hit of the tournament. He's on with 1 out in the second. Anyway, in that song, T-ball's included, in which one of the players takes the manager literally instead of hitting the ball, winds up hitting the manager in the head, saying, just go ahead and take a swing, just not at me. Brock Renfro, 1 for 4. First baseman, hitting in the position number 7. Would you say right now, based on Iowa's pitching and defense, a favorite against Minnesota tomorrow?
Yeah, it's an interesting matchup because Minnesota's put so many runs on the board, but they have been the benefit of a lot of base on balls that they've been able to drive in. So fun to watch. I'm looking forward to watching it to see how that all transpires here. But Iowa's pitching, I think, is really good. And if I always say it, and I'll keep saying it, pitching and defense wins these championships. And if so, I think they could shut down a Minnesota team.
Such a big argument as to who's going to win the World Series of Major League Baseball. And the one negative factor before the Dodgers and the Yankees, 2 of the favorites to meet in the World Series, is that great long ball, but defense at times a little shaky, and definitely pitching has come suspect at times.
Yes. Yankees rotation struggling a bit. That's where I give advantage maybe to the Dodgers.
Double play ball here, out at second for 1. Safe at first. Brock Renfro able to get in by a step. 2 outs, and here's how the pitcher, Matt Bryant, starts a potential double play.
Well, field your position. We mentioned his ability. We saw it yesterday with Andrew Young on the mound, too, for this Missouri team. If you can field your position, and being an athlete out there and a shortstop on the mound makes a huge difference. You could see he was almost able to get that double play done.
Here's Landon Fletcher, who's done some pitching in this tournament as well. Home plate umpire today is Rick Stockey. First base, Dan Giedel. Second base with the call moments ago was Michael Julian. Third base up, Andrew Elliott. And now a runner in scoring position for the first time today in Brock Renfro. Don't see a lot of wild pitches and pass balls from good defensive teams either, although there was one right there.
Yeah.
Fletcher's 0 for 2 in limited activity at the plate. 2-0 pitch, line drive. Snare, throw to first in time. Good play by Caleb Briggerman, who saves a run. That defense we have highlighted on both sides. A staple for Caleb Briggerman and his team.
Hawk Larson up. Here's Watson again, look out. Tattooed to left, it's over the fence. That's going to be a double 2-run score at 6-0. Stewart's pitch. Got it! Iowa's on its way to Williamsport.
John, we could have a potential rematch between the states if North Dakota wins today. And if Iowa were to lose tomorrow, they would meet in a winner-take-all game on Friday. But right now, Iowa becomes the favorite based on the way it has handled other teams and the way it's been able to defend so far, and certainly the way it's been able to pitch.
Agree 100%. Boy, that kid was strong last year for Iowa.
He was.
He lifted that, he said, tattooed over the left fielder's head. You can understand why. I remember looking at him and thinking, this kid's a linebacker in a baseball uniform.
Waiting to happen. Colby Hansen, cleanup hitter, 2 for 11, batting 181 in the regional with 3 runs batted in. 4, 5, and 6 hitters for Fargo Little League in the North Dakota second in a scoreless game. Neither team with a huge threat yet. Pitch count will become significant, so every foul ball drives that count up just a bit. As you can go to the 85 pitch limit, and then your day is done. And I can't imagine that either manager is going to consider a quick hook in this game, knowing full well you get to Friday and you probably have to do it with one of your studs out there.
Yeah.
2-2. 1 out in the second. Second strikeout for Luke Beverland.
The good thing about it, though, for these two teams is they've got some arms they can run out there.
True.
Missouri, if you look at their team, talking with their coaches before, every single player on this roster could go out there on the mound except 2 guys. One of them's the catcher. There's another guy that's a coach's son. 2 players only, and they're both coaches' sons that are not going to go on the mound, and they were laughing about that before the game. Said you will not see Eggleston behind the plate on the mound, and his dad was laughing, said no chance.
Gotta do what you must do. Towards second base, pretty good hop for Hudson Bird. 2 outs, and that's 3 infield groundouts that Luke Beverland has been able to get in the first inning and 2/3.
Not that that was a tough hop at all, but how about these kids, how they've adjusted to this turf. First day we saw a few errors, you know, ball gets on them a little bit quicker, not used to playing on this artificial turf. Not all of them. We know Fargo has never played on that prior to this, but give them credit. These kids have really adjusted to the speed of the game here.
All have taken advantage of the turf fields around and in Grant Park to do a lot of practicing and get used to this type of area, which is different. And of course, coming here as Kate Newharth is the batter, the catcher. If they've had a chance to practice on a facility like that, they've been able to take advantage, but not a lot of these places are available. In the case of Grant Park, they put $2.3 million into this turf in the infield in all 19 baseball facilities around the stadium. What's interesting, though, this could be the last year for Little League and its championship here, as the new Little League headquarters headed for Whitestown, Indiana, will be breaking ground not only on the headquarters but also on a new softball field and a new baseball diamond for future tournaments.
Not that this isn't a grand place, because it is. It is very nice, but it'd be nice to have those facilities where all of the representation from Little League here that do such a great job kind of just move from their facility over here for the entire week. They just have pods out there with all the equipment and everything they need and all the volunteers and everything that's going on. So having it all in one place would make it so convenient for them.
Yes, a lot of the executives of Little League locally were sharing with us how they have to transport a lot of the equipment just to be mobile and in position to operate a tournament here. Imagine what it's like if it's next door. Just step out of your office and right over to the diamond. Ground has not been broken, though. The game plan is to have both facilities, both diamonds ready to go by 2020. Inning over. Luke Beverland. John looks sharp so far.
Got him on a high fastball again. We've seen him in the first with breaking balls. Now with the fastball up, not going to catch that one.
Nobody left. Hit down for Beverly.
I love the Cambria being over there. It's the first time I noticed that.
Yeah.
Is it the first year for that or no?
No, they were building. The Colts stayed there, I think.
Okay.
Players don't.
Welcome back to the Grand Park Sports Campus at Westfield. 400 acres, 26 baseball and softball diamonds, 31 multi-purpose fields for soccer, football, and lacrosse. By the way, the Big Ten men's soccer tournament in 16 and the women's soccer tournament in the Big Ten in 17 were held here. They hold tournaments for any amount of baseball teams, and they have put together some amazing brackets to get all those games in here. And this will be a facility that will long be used.
If my memory is correct, that indoor facility you saw for soccer has 3 fields under roof, with the middle field actually with the ability to seat 5,000.
Yeah.
That is crazy big.
Hudson Dutch Bird leading off. This kid's done some deep sea fishing in the ocean. Bounces one toward third. Quinn Miller, one out. And that is the 5th ground ball out here in the 3rd inning. That's been induced by pitcher Matt Bryant.
Back to the top of the order for Missouri, number 6, center fielder.
2 pitchers on the mound. High fastball, Beverly, a little quicker to the plate. His ability to throw the fastball can get that high strikeout. Matt Bryant, a little bit different. He wants those ground balls. He wants to work down in the zone, get these guys to hit it into the ground.
Getting a bunt here to field, off the mound quickly and in time. He talked earlier how his manager likes the fact that he feels the ball so efficiently and with great speed jumping off the mound, and I think it's a good example right here.
Especially if you can get this guy going down the line with great speed.
Andrew Young now has been retired twice. That's a big get for North Dakota.
No question about it. Table setters, him and Epler at the plate right now.
It's early, small sample size, but the two are combined 0 for 3. Actually, that'd be 0 for 2 since Cohen walked his first time up. Batting number 2 in the lineup with 2 outs here in the top of the 3rd and no score. Cohen's favorite actor is The Rock. He has been to the College World Series as a spectator. It's interesting, a number of the kids in both regions in this tournament, even though not playing, and sometimes not even with family in it, will just make a road trip. Towards short. It's going to be a long throw and a tough one. We'll see how they score, but Epler's aboard with 2 outs. Caleb Christensen had to go to his right, and because of that, they're going to give it a base hit.
I agree with that. Would have tough to get him even if he comes up with it cleanly. That ball wasn't hit that hard, so gave Epler a chance with good speed to get down that first base line. You see Caleb Christensen's so good at getting to the ball. He makes it look easy. Even the hard plays he makes look easy. Routine is just nothing for him, it seems like.
Caleb in this tournament has 12 assists in 13 chances. Now Luke Beverlin batting third, 2 outs in the third. Scoreless game. Some of the numbers earlier by way of graphic. Missouri losing to Iowa 2-1, beating Kansas 3-1, beating South Dakota 5-2 in 8. Towards second base. Infielders, both sides playing like it's a championship game. Caleb Briggerman unassisted to the bottom of the third and the bottom of the North Dakota lineup. Luke Beverlin on the mound today for Missouri has faced 6, retired all 6, 3 on strikeouts, and he's done it efficiently, John. Just 27 pitches.
Both of these guys have been so efficient on the mound, but Beverlin doing it with the hard fastball and getting those strikeouts. On the other side, Matthew Bryant more or less getting those ground balls, but both guys, as you can see their numbers there, 2 innings pitched, 3 Ks, and you can expect that number to go up because he is pounding the zone.
He faces the bottom of the North Dakota order, which has actually hit the ball pretty well in the tournament in limited activity. A combined 3 for 8 as Quinn Miller, Alex Christopherson, and Caleb Briggerman will try to solve him here in the third. Elimination game with the winner getting a day off and facing the loser of tomorrow's Iowa-Minnesota game. That would be on Friday. So in essence, the winner of this game gets to the semifinals. Quinn Miller, we mentioned, was the, I don't know if you would call him a designated runner, a special runner with Little League's new rule in extra innings. The 8th inning yesterday, where he made the previous out in the 7th. The last out, and then by rule came back to be the lead runner in the top of the 8th. In order to keep games at a minimum, he scores, and that turns out to be the winning run. Headed to right field. He's aboard to start the 3rd inning for Fargo. First base runner for North Dakota. That is a base hit, and that is the first, obviously, the game for Fargo.
Lefty matchup. Quinn Miller up to the task as he yanks that down the first base line. Renfro, the first baseman over there, Brock Renfro, a really good defensive first baseman, not even able to get a glove on it.
Alex Christopherson batting 8th, wears eye black for good luck. He's the middle child of 5. He wants it known he is not the favorite, but he is also not the least favorite.
That'll get the family thinking. Okay,
yeah,
which
may have to bump him up if
process of elimination here now.
Continue to win in this tournament.
So if the oldest could be a favorite and the youngest could be a favorite, and you eliminate the middle.
Christopherson looking to bunt the man along. I mean, in a relatively large family, whoever feels like, you know, they're on top of things.
So.
Isn't that what they call a sibling rivalry, you know? Going through life thinking, hey, your parents like somebody better.
You know, he could just be playing, you know, poker right now, and you know, that way he can get some, you know, get a little extra.
Very good. Did not commit. Ball and 2 strikes. First base umpire Dan Giedel saying he did not bunt through the pitch. Got to put it in play or will be a strikeout here, as there are 2 strikes and 1 ball. Caleb Briggerman has played fine at defensively at second base. Next, this headed to right field. Still got a chance for a force out. At least that's what Derek Wagner was thinking, but he would have to field cleanly and fire. Instead, it's a base hit. And so the bottom of the order, which has been tough for other teams, is now setting the table in the 3rd.
You are absolutely right, Jim. Derek Wagner out there in right field was thinking, look at how he was charging that. If he comes up cleanly, maybe a close play at second base, but Quinn Miller with good speed down at first base would have made it tough on him.
Now Caleb Briggerman with 2 aboard. Looks like a bunting situation. Takes a pitch for a strike. Briggerman at 4'11", 83 pounds. How about this? His favorite athlete, Ken Griffey Jr. Been a while since Griff has played the bigs, yet this kid, affection for him. And likely that probably runs through part of the family as well. His claim to fame, having turned a triple play.
I like it. Now his fame can be if he can lay this bunt down and get his guys, 2 guys in scoring position. That's all he needs to do now.
Down 2 strikes, takes a pitch up high, 1-2. Do you still have the bunt sign on here?
No, and that was a mistake on my part, not looking down to see the 2 strikes on it, but got to take it off now and let him swing away. Still in on the corners, though, defensively.
And he takes strike 3. Big strikeout for Luke Beverlin, his first. 4th of the day, first in the inning. And now, with 2 aboard and 1 out, back to the top of the order, and Matt Bryant.
And the pitcher, number 8, Matt Bryant.
Jim, one of the things we have not seen, as you mentioned before, because of these guys on the mound locating very well those pass balls. Every time we've seen runners get to second, a pass ball gets them over to third, and then sometimes they find their way home on a 3rd strike or another pass ball. So far, give these guys credit behind the plate of nothing getting by.
It also makes the attempted sacrifice bunt even more critical, because you know you're not likely to get a break like that with the ball going behind the catcher. Matt Bryant struck out in the first, 5 for 11 in the tournament, batting .454. RBI situation here. Chance to put his team ahead. Luke Beverlin continues, John, to get ahead of hitters. And pitched much in this tournament, had Luke, but was able to close out an important game just a couple days back. Missing 2-2. Lefty versus lefty with Benson Grandy, the number 2 hitter in the lineup, to follow.
Interesting when you watch 2 of these pitchers. We mentioned Luke Beverly on the mound here, how his coaches say he's never too high, never too low, kind of calm, even keel out there. The guy at the plate, Matthew Bryant, on the other hand, he's been on the mound when he's come off at the end of the last couple innings. He's had to have a talking to by the coaches. It just seems like his body language has been, seems like he's disappointed in something, and he's got a shutout going. So, interesting.
Strike 3 call. Luke Beverlin now back-to-back strikeouts. So we'll probably show you pictures of Matt Bryant when we get to the 4th inning. But maybe he was disappointed with the call behind home plate, which will happen. Luke Beverlin, after 2 reads, has come with back-to-back punch-outs.
Well, if he's not feeling good about something, that's not going to help anymore there.
No,
so you got to wipe those things off, especially if you're going to go back on the mound, because that's your job today, is do what you're doing, keep the teams, off of the bases. And if he's doing that, he should be smiling all day.
Good point. Slow roller, second base, fielded well, handled by Hudson Bird, inning over, and Luke Beverlin gets out of a jam. On to the 4th in a huge game for both. The North Dakota coaching staff with pitcher Matt Bryant today, who had shoulders kind of down a little bit, face down as well, and don't know if it has anything to do with something that's happened with a called 3rd strike that he didn't get, or maybe something with his hitting so far. Maybe he's not feeling well. I mean, who knows, right?
Yeah, one of those days. One of the things they say about him, he's ultra competitive, winner, very smart, all those things. And look at the coach. He just said, turn around, look at the scoreboard. You haven't given up a run. It's nothing out there. You've only given up 2 hits on the day in the 3 innings. I don't know how more efficient you can be. He should be all smiles right now.
Derek Wagner to lead off the 4th. And yet a lot of these kids are perfectionists or strive to be a perfectionist.
Nothing wrong with that either.
Which has a lot to do with why they're so good. But, man, how do you dial it down a little bit?
Yeah.
That's not easy, is it?
No. And, one of the things, too, as a leader, you have to understand that, too. These other kids are looking at you. You've got other leaders on this team, but he's one that the coaches have said, he's a guy that is a leader. So they look at you, and if they see you like that, they can kind of say, hey, what's happening to our leader out there?
Wagner lifts one up to right center field. Outfielders colliding, and on the play, Wagner around second base, got a chance to make it into third. Actually, I should say the outfielders getting together, and the right fielder in this case, Alex Christopherson, tried to handle it, and whether it was looking into the sun or whatever, it's going to be a 3-base error.
Remember, we said the sun is behind the press box early in the morning. You could see the communication going on there. It looked like Benson Grandy in center field was like, take it, and Alex had a beat on it, but you just wonder if that sun affected him at all on that fly ball.
Was that Grandy that handled it instead of Christopherson?
No, Grandy was, I was saying that I think he was communicating, it's your ball, you got it, because he was close to it. And we're going to get a little break here now, I think, and a good time to come out and just have a conversation again, especially with Matthew on the mound if he's getting a little heated because there was an error behind him.
Landon Piet is going to be the pinch hitter. Well, we see these type of moods occasionally, John, in Major League Baseball. We certainly see it in other sports. Guys who are dialed in and maybe have difficulty tolerating mistakes, whether it's somebody else's or their own. And, what do coaches say? Everybody's wired differently. It's not a bad thing. It's just what it is.
He's what they say right there in the bio, ultra competitive. And everything has to be good. So now with no outs, the defense and late in this ball game now, defense has to come in and try to cut that run off at home.
Landon Piet going to try to do the job. Maybe Brian can come through like Luke Beverly did with some huge strikeouts in the previous inning. I talked to Landon yesterday about the pigpen designation. I guess one day or days he got caught with a lot of food on him after eating. You know how labels stick among kids. He's going to have this one forever.
And everybody has the nickname, a nickname.
Bryant 1-1 pitch. Now ahead 1-2. Here comes a run. No, it's a foul ball. So Derek Wagner, as much as he'd like to come home, has got to go back. So Bryant's a lot like you. You don't tolerate mistakes either. I see you throw things up here. I mean,
I get stuff all over me.
Glare down producers, at single bound. Wild pitch. Runner going to try to score this time, and he is safe. Well, you can see the disappointment from Bryant there, but that's understandable because Missouri goes ahead 1-0.
Mentioned not a lot of pass balls. This one, consider a wild pitch. No really chance for Caden to get his glove on that one. That was up in the zone, kind of really fooled him. He hasn't missed that high before, so catcher not expecting him to. So the first run now the bases are cleared. You just clear the mechanism, start over again if you're Matthew Bryant.
And he does by getting Brody Eggleston on a tip 3-2 pitch. One out here in the fourth. Well, you still feel for a kid.
Yes.
Even if he is a perfectionist, because it's a big game. You want everything to go right. I mean, it's sometimes the way we're dialed in. Aiden Straight now the pinch hitter up the middle. Handled by second base. Not cleanly, though. That will be a base hit, I would think. Yes.
Caleb Brigman at second base fielded that with his bare hand. That was kind of an in-between. Maybe one you just want to put the glove on. A good rule is if that ball is not going to get by the bag, then you can feel it with your bare hand. If it's going to get by that bag, you may want to throw the glove in there. Maybe he felt like that was the only play he had.
I think with an opportunity to get this guy who's pretty quick going to first base, maybe it was the only chance he had. Man out, a run in. Bryant has that change working nicely today, and he certainly has kept a number of hitters off balance as he faces Brock Renfro, who was a fielder's choice out back in the second. Survival game today with the winner moving on to Friday, and the loser's season is done.
All that talk about Matthew Bryant, I'll tell you what, I'd take him on my team any day.
Yeah, sure. It's kind of a pleasant problem to have somebody that's so focused.
Yeah.
3-2. I'm sure you play with guys like that.
Sure, sure.
Did you ever say anything to help him?
Well, you try. You try. As you get older, you start to realize that a little bit and become a little better at controlling those emotions, or at least the look of the emotions.
Legend has it that it was either Bob Uecker or Tim McCarver came out to the mound one day to settle Bob Gibson down. Back in the days of the Cardinals when Gibson was a terror to face. And Gibson's alleged quote as Landon Fletcher comes to the plate. We'll get to that here in a second. His alleged quote to this unexpected visit to the mound was, "The only thing that you know about hitting is that you can't do it. So go back." Drew Woodmansee, the pinch hitter, has delivered big in this tournament. One hit, but it drove in a couple. Count a ball and 2 strikes. This is the bottom of the Missouri lineup, with Hudson Bird to bat next. Matthew Bryant once again from the full windup. Big strikeout for Bryant, second in the inning, and now for Matthew, third in the game. 2 outs.
That away, Matthew. Get runners on first and second again. Bear down and gets a breaking ball across the plate for the strikeout and a big second out.
Burgess will pinch hit. Brennan, number 5, 0 for 3. Loves to fish. Imagine a lot of these kids, that's a favorite pastime. By the way, if you walk around Grand Park, there are signs that say no fishing here where the water areas are at. Just in case folks at home are wondering or plan on making a trip here soon.
Well, even if Missouri's only able to put 1 on the board here, what they have done is really driven up the pitch count.
Yes.
On Matthew Bryant, not 63 now. We were talking about the efficiency of both of these guys, our number of pitches.
Count here, 2 balls and a strike with the top of the order and a dangerous Andrew Young next. Behooves Bryant to try to get out of this, and he should. Missouri, however, with a 3-base error, has taken the lead and has scored the first run of the game. In the Missouri 4th, middle of the order, which has struggled so far. Back to business in a moment. The 4th. Let's see if North Dakota has an answer for Missouri's run that was scored at the top of the inning and is the difference at this point in our game.
I love how it says it allows you to lose yourself in a dream, and also allows you to lose yourself in memories, thinking back, thinking back. We've had such great pictures of the past, Little League World Series as it started out and what it looked like. Players in other sports, entertainers, everybody that's played Little League. But when you get here every year for this tournament, just gives you a chance to reflect on some of the things that times you got to spend with your family and all that good stuff.
I just remember walking to Cuyahoga Park in East Chicago, Indiana for a night game. How excited to play night games. I always walked by a girl's house, girl that I liked that never liked me. But hoping she would come out, which she didn't. Caleb Christensen starts the North Dakota 4th with a hit. A lot of the Little Leaguers say it's the night games that they really love the most. I mean, at a youthful age, here they're playing baseball at night. It's a cool feeling in the summer.
Yeah.
The first baseman, number 12, Colby Hansen.
Get the bigger crowds too, Yeah. That's play under the lights, nothing like it.
Colby Hansen, 2 for 12 in the regional. The middle of this lineup has struggled, although Caleb got the 3rd hit of his playing so far in here. The numbers so far reflect 5 for 31 coming in, and now 6 of 35 in the regional for the 3, 4, and 5 hitters. But Colby Hansen drove in 3 last night, and that's what mattered the most because it allowed North Dakota to win its game 5-2 and advance. After Colby, the number 4 hitter, Andrew O'Neill, the left fielder. Double play ball to short. There's 1, and not in time for 2. Cone Epler decided not to throw the ball, to do it unassisted. How about that play, John?
Yeah, probably rethinking this. Maybe he's thinking, oh, I'm a little closer to the bag than I thought I was. And once he committed, he's like, oh, I got to go with it now. But probably felt like he was a little closer to the bag than he was.
13, Ashton Renas.
Ashton Renas will be the pitch hitter for North Dakota here in the 4th for Andrew O'Neill. 1-0 Missouri trying to get to Friday. Face the loser of Iowa and Minnesota, being played tomorrow. Top of the year Cody Bellinger's having for the Dodgers. Man. They're wiping the floor with the Cardinals right now in that series. Played Kershaw pitching last night.
You were talking about the pitching woes of some of those teams, but a guy like Cody can carry you for a while.
Yes. Dodgers still have a pleasant problem with all those good starters. It's been the bullpen that's been suspect at times. Ball and 2 strikes. Luke Beverland sailing along right now. His team ahead 1-0. Trying to get Ashton Renas, the pinch hitter. Another sun-drenched day in Westfield. We have had great weather all the way through. And the prediction for the remainder of the games here, you'll see on ESPN, ditto. With it to get a little bit hotter. Strike 3 called. Luke Beverland in this game has a number of called 3rd strikes. And in this game as well, he's averaged at least a strikeout per inning, John.
Well, called 3rd strikes mean you're fooling a lot of people. That time Eggleston, his catcher, was set up on the outside corner. May have fooled the home plate umpire too, because that ball was on the inner half. But he's all around the plate, so you're going to get that benefit of the doubt. As we mentioned so many times, if you're missing wild, you're not going to get the close call. If you're hanging around those edges, you're going to get it.
Again, our home plate umpires, Rick Strachey. As the umpires, all volunteers, come from different parts of the Midwest and switch positions when they umpire games. And John, not in your effort to flatter umpires, although you spent a number of years doing it, you have pointed out that umpires in most occasions here have been correct on calls.
Really good. I mean, you look at the reviews and they don't miss a whole lot of them. Now some are overturned, but the ones that are overturned, I'd make that mistake too. I mean, the bang bang play, when you're out there, you're going to make mistakes. So the review gets it right, but unfortunately it's a reflection on the umpire, but can't blame him.
Base hit center field, inning still alive for Fargo. Now with the man in scoring position as Caden Newharth gets his 2nd hit. Check that, that would have been Gunnar Majerus with the hit. So Gunnar now is aboard. And in the tournament, he has 3 for 7 as his batting numbers.
Number 9.
And nice to have a guy like Gunnar that can come off the bench and deliver for you like that as a pinch hitter.
So Colby Hansen representing the tying run at 2nd. Gunnar Majerus lead run at 1st. A chance for Quinn Miller. 2 at bats, 2 hits. And 1 for 1 today with a hit that started the 3rd.
How about that location right there?
Gorgeous.
Eggleston sets up outside corner, doesn't have to move the glove.
That's a pitcher, right?
That's a pitcher.
Luke Beverland a strike away from getting out of another jam. He faced 2 on, nobody out in the 3rd. There were 2 on with 2 outs here in the 4th.
Asking for a replay, thinking maybe he fouled that ball off. Okay.
Could be catcher's interference that they're discussing right here. And that is a reviewable situation. So Rick Strachey with the helmet on. What do you think, John? Let's watch.
Look at the reaction again of the hitter. He'll tell you. I don't see any reaction like he's thinking that that happened, and I don't see it.
This will not be overturned. So it remains a foul ball. Catcher has a right to a ball too, right? I know you don't want to impede the batter, but still.
Yeah. But why not? Looks like in this ball game, every strike's going to be important. Every base runner is important. If you can find a way down there, get down to first base.
Strike 3 called. How about Luke Beverland pounding the glove as he runs off, striking out the side in the 4th. And getting out of yet another jam as North Dakota leaves 2. On to the 5th. It's getting late.
Sit down, Luke Beverland.
I can look at little leaguers that eventually became big leaguers, and very good big leaguers at that. By the way, we've shown his picture throughout the tournament. Chris Bryant, who played Little League in Las Vegas, actually played with Bryce Harper back in the day. They were good friends starting at age 9.
How about that Little League team?
Probably competed against each other, I think, too. So, yeah.
Leading off the top of the 5th inning for Missouri.
Matthew Bryant's pitched well today.
Andrew Young.
He's allowed 1 run. That's an unearned run. Andrew Young starts the 5th, and Bryant's done a good job against Young, except here where Andrew gets on base for the first time. Now 5 of 12 in the tournament, batting .417.
And that's, I think, when Andrew Young is at his best, when he's hitting the ball the other way and all over the field, using that speed. It's not like a softball swing where he's slapping it to left. He can drive it the opposite way, but when he uses the whole field, he's really dangerous.
Cohen Epler looking for a bunt here, perhaps. Not showing any sign and taking a strike. Cohen 1 for 1. It's 3 for 9. I mentioned that Luke Beverland struck out the side in the 4th. That's incorrect. He got 2 of the 3, and he has struck out 2 in each inning so far, minus the 1st. 7 for the game.
Now, a lot of things you can do with Andrew Young at first base. He's one of the guys we've actually seen steal when they could be contested without a runner on third base. So he's taken off a couple times here. So you could see action where Epler fakes a bunt and let Young get to second base on a stolen base and then maybe try to get him over.
Looks like Jackson Pickett's going to warm up with Landon Piet serving as catcher to pin. Delayed steal there. Into center field. Chance to get the 3rd. Save. John, right on cue.
Andrew Young has got that type of speed where you just can't let down for a second. He waited for the throw to come back from the catcher to the pitcher, and watch Matthew Bryant's reaction. He gets the ball, kind of turns the opposite direction. Those are little things coaches can coach you up on when the pitcher catches it. Does he turn and look at you? Does he face the other way? Those are all the things in the dugout that you can pick up, little keys during a game as you start to learn as you get older and older. And nice job, Andrew Young.
Headed to the outfield, 2-0 Missouri. Cohen Epler, second hit of the game, 4th of the regional, and some insurance now for Webb City. And Andrew Young made a lot of that happen.
Just a threat on the base pass, that's what you do. And then the ground ball in the middle. As soon as you get that runner on third base, so many ways to score him, especially on this infield when you can just drive it in the ground and pick up the RBI.
Now Luke Beverland, as we're going to have a conversation and a stoppage in play. And in fact, infielders are being cleared out. This will be a man-to-man discussion here, with the score now 2-0 in favor of Missouri. By the way, I just went back to my Bob Carpenter scorecard, and after looking at my Carpenter book, I go back to last year's Little League tournament here. Jared Purefoy of Michigan. Remember how good he was with a hit that first base was never enough for him. In fact, the general feeling was that if he hit it to the outfield, he might be on third by the time you track down the ball. But he reminds me a lot of Purifoy, that he puts you on your defensive immediately.
Purifoy, if you didn't throw it almost a base in advance of him, he was going to go. You better not throw behind him or he's gone.
I love guys like that. I think they have strong baseball IQs.
Instincts.
Yes, they understand the game, and they know if they can put you on your heels, that's going to be a problem for you. It's almost like they feel entitled to the next base, you know? Like, I'm taking second because I am who I am.
I can.
That's right.
And you're not going to stop.
No, sir. Man aboard, 2 strikes, nobody out in the 5th. Wild pitch. And now Cohen Epler into scoring position with nobody out here in the 5th. And Matt Bryant's defense, not that he needs one really, is that his team has been unable to take advantage of 2 scoring opportunities. Had 2 aboard in the 3rd with nobody out, failed to score. 2 on with 2 out in the 4th, failed to score. And that's had a lot to do with Luke Beverland, the way he's throwing for Webb City.
Sure, yeah, no question about it. If they ran into that same problem when they faced Iowa and were shut out 3-0. They're getting that same type of treatment with pitchers on the mound.
Yep. North Dakota has left 4 on base, and all 4 in the last 2 innings. 2-0 now Missouri in a 6-inning game, trying to close in on a berth Friday against the loser of tomorrow's undefeated battle between Minnesota and Iowa. Good pitch, 1 out. It's been an out pitch for Matthew Bryant today, and he gets Luke Beverland for the 3rd time, which has been no easy task.
At the top, we talked about his ability to make contact, and when he does, how he can yank it out of the park. Fortunate to get that big out there.
Derek Wagner reached on a 3-base error to start the 4th and scored. A difference in our game to this point. Missouri's earned run average is now 0.85 in this tournament. Gosh, we've got a lot of love to Iowa, and it's great pitching, but 0.85. Ball and a strike here with a man out and a 2-0 Webb City lead. Decked out in the red uniforms, playing the team in the blue today from Fargo, North Dakota. Later today, we head over to the Great Lakes, Wisconsin and Illinois. I wonder if those Wisconsin bats have cooled off, honey. After 16 hits and 26 at bats and 15 runs against Indiana in 3 innings. Count here now 3-1. It's a hitter's count for Derek Wagner, trying to get his 2nd hit of the regional. Toward 3rd base, double play ball. No, in fact, there is nobody in that situation here, excuse me. And the easy throw over to 1st now leads us to our 2nd out as the runner, Cohen Epler, is froze.
This is a good job. Not just a quick peek over there. He looked him back to the bag. Make sure he's staying there.
And a chance now to get out of the inning if he can get Brody Eggleston, who is 1 for 8 in the regional.
Number 16, the catcher, Brody Eggleston.
Little advanced scouting, you think?
Yeah. Fun to just get over and watch good baseball, maybe.
Yeah. By the way, we've been promoting a lot of our coverage on ESPN and ABC of Williamsport. The Midwest champion will play the Great Lakes champion in Game 4 out there.
Be fun to watch the matchup. Having to have a chance to see him here, I always look forward to that.
Would be indeed. Kind of highlight that game, wouldn't you, if you've been watching baseball out here? Had folks as far away from Texas coming here just to watch baseball, just fans of Little League. Gotta love those kind of people.
And They'll be watching them live, too.
They're going to Williamsport, aren't they?
Yes.
Yeah. I'm still convinced that this professor teacher at Waco is Baylor's. They got some money. They claim they don't. Count 2-2 with 2 outs. Let's see if Matthew Bryant can get out of this fix here. And his team rally in the 5th inning. Instead, a runner trotting into third base. That is Cone Epler, who had a huge RBI hit at the first part of this inning, which expanded the lead to 2-0. Count is 3 balls and 2 strikes. Inning over. Matthew Bryant gets 2 strikeouts. Missouri gets an insurance run. Well, is Webb City's dream season continuing? Right now, chances are good. Midwest Regional, field at a glance. Your standings. 2 unbeatens play tomorrow. The loser of that game will face the winner of this game. And despite great seasons, Rapid City, Kearney, and Pittsburgh of Kansas ended their years a little earlier this week. Great Lakes is coming up. Wisconsin and Illinois. That's Johnston, Iowa scouting for tomorrow. Dressed in uniform, too.
Yeah.
It's kind of neat.
Get some practice in, early morning wake up, go watch some baseball. We've seen teams go to the movie. This Fargo team, right? Wasn't it? Or South Dakota?
Yeah, South Dakota.
Took on a movie yesterday and got 2 practices in.
Saw Lion King. To the bullpen and to the bench goes Fargo, Joey Yeager. Pinch hitting here in the 5th.
68 pitches right now for Luke Beverlin on the mound, and he looks just as good as pitch 1 as far as velocity goes.
The key for him would be to try to maximize this inning by throwing as few pitches as possible, but it's also possible he'll have to be lifted if we get to the 6th inning and he gets there for another pitcher. But 3 pitches here, 1 out. 8 strikeouts in the game now for Luke Beverlin, who's looked as good now as he was when we first started.
Talking with the coaches before the game, they felt like Andrew Young yesterday on the mound, who was pitching really well, ended up losing about, they felt like it was like 5 to 7 miles an hour off of his fastball later in the ball game. So, not Luke today. He's pounding it.
Cy Hassler tells us in the bio that his great-grandfather had something to do with the building of Arrowhead Stadium, home of the Kansas City Chiefs. Count, a ball and a strike. Pitcher Beverlin has struck out 1 in every inning. North Dakota's challenge now, down 2-0, is to get a man on, get the tying run to the plate. Best scoring threat after back-to-back hits to start the 3rd, but it died with runners at 1st and 2nd.
You talked about the pitch count. Boy, they could use an at-bat right now where you get about 9 foul balls in a row,
yeah,
like
exactly.
We saw yesterday.
Get him out of there, you know. Cy Hassler at 4'8". Tough to pitch to, draws a walk. That's a good sign in a lot of ways, including the pitch count scenario here, as he now brings the tying run to the plate and the top of the order. .75 pitches in this game for Luke Beverlin. So they will run him up to 85. If he was to get a double play here on pitch 76, then he would have a little room for comfort in the 6th inning, but that's looking very far ahead, and he faces a difficult Matt Bryant at the plate. Bryant has struck out twice, but is hitting .417 for the regional at 5 for 12. And the top of this order has been handcuffed so far. Matt Bryant and Benson Grandy, both outstanding hitters, are 0 for 4. which most opposing coaches will tell you makes him even more dangerous right now.
Well, lefty to lefty matchups too make it even much more difficult. Boy, wouldn't Luke Beverland like a double play ball right now to keep that pitch count down.
And Brian would like to hit it down the right field line past Derek Wagner and make him run for a while, because there's some space over there. Here's the pitch. And the count now goes to 3-0. Bryant doing a nice job laying off. One more ball, and the tying runs are on base. Big pitch coming here from Luke Beverland. 3-1. I don't imagine you have Bryant take here, do you?
I think maybe you do take one more pitch.
Really? As good a hitter as he is, huh?
I think so. You need base runners right now.
Now the count is 3-2.
I say that simply because of that offer that he's had today, not maybe seeing Luke Beverland pretty good at the mound or feel comfortable at the plate. So, but he got a good swing at that. He was on that fastball.
Waiting now, a 3-2 delivery. Headed to left field, base hit. Well, you can't keep good hitters down forever. Matt Bryant goes the other way, and now he's the tying run here in the 5th inning for North Dakota. Good piece of hitting.
Yeah, 2 strike hitting, really. He just kind of picked that off the ground. That was low in the strike zone, but a pitch that he had to swing at with 2 strikes.
Now Benson Grandy, excuse me, Jeff.
Stars just able to get it through that left side.
Benson has grounded out twice. 6 for 14 in the regional. Hitting well over 400. Important for him here, even if he makes it out, advance those runners. Get both of them in scoring position. They had 2 balls and nothing. Luke is struggling a little bit up. Maybe it has something to do with the caliber. Still continuing to work from a full windup. Ball 3 and a wild pitch. Now the runners are in scoring position.
Well, last batter that he will face in this ball game now based off of his pitch count. So maybe he's at the point too where he's just, as we said before, still popping the mitt, but he's starting to miss high, and that could be an indication of your arm not getting tired, but maybe the rest of your body, your legs, not the ability to drive and stay down in the zone.
Starting to run out of gas, perhaps.
Yeah. Sometimes it's not the arm. Sometimes it's your legs, or 3 games in a row.
Got to be careful with Benson Grandy. A base hit here could tie the game. Bases are loaded. Luke Beverland, his day is done. After pitching shutout baseball through 4 1/3.
Sorry, Jim. And I was going to say, and now a reliever has to come in with the bases loaded and just 1 out here in a tough situation. So we'll see who gets that chance.
Webb said he was doing a good job during the off innings of warming somebody up with the idea that they were going to have to make a pitching change, and a nice round of applause for Luke Beverland. What a good job he has done out there, striking out 8. He is responsible, though, for the tying and the lead runners that are on. And in the case of Webb City, Jackson Pickett is called on in the most difficult of situations. The bases are loaded, 1 out, trying to protect a 2-0 lead for Missouri.
And the dangerous thing for Jackson Pickett now is to make sure he just doesn't overthrow the ball and get it in the dirt here and allow those runners to get the free passes home on pass balls. So tough situation to come into and not be pumped up and try to overthrow. So got to be relaxed.
Shortstop, number 6.
Simple as that. Bases loaded.
Oh, you make it so easy, John.
Yeah, makes it sound easy, right?
Caleb Christensen 1 for 2, takes a strike, 3 for 11 in the regional. So the top of the order now getting on base for North Dakota, which has led to a bases loaded situation in a must-win game for both. 2 strikes. Brock Redfield now the third baseman. Luke Beverland is at first, and Drew Woodmansee is the left fielder. So 4 defensive changes for Webb City. In foul ground. Good chase by Luke Beverlin. Puts the cap back on. Back to play in a moment. Infield at double play depth. In at the corners. And out doesn't hurt him, though. Chance for a double play somewhere. Luke Beverlin looked at everybody. And to Fargo's credit, all runners strayed a bit, but got back into position immediately to avoid a double play.
He looked all around the field, and probably the best play he had was right behind him.
Number 12, the first baseman.
You're right. Great base running by those base runners for North Dakota out there. You just can't get caught off on a line drive, and so many times you do.
Colby Hansen takes a pitch inside. They're still loaded, though, with 2 outs. Hansen is 2 for 13, but was large yesterday with a hit and 3 RBIs. Can he deliver again? He's up 2-0. Missouri 1 in the 4th, 1 in the 5th. North Dakota with a chance here in the 5th. 3 balls, no strikes. Good decision at third base by the runner, because another bad one's going to mean a run anyway. That's Caleb Brigham, or rather Cy Hassler. Big pitch here, 3-0. 3-1. Johnny, you taking on this one or swinging?
I think I'm taking again. You need runs so bad. I think I'd give up a strike here for one more opportunity to see 2 pitches.
Swinging away to right center field and caught. Inning over. Derek Wagner. And what a job by Jackson Pickett on the mound.
Pickett needed to get the out or get 2 outs. He comes in with the bases loaded and does the job with some help in the outfield.
Unless we go extra innings, Benson Grandy becomes the new pitcher. Caleb Brigham moves to center field. Matthew Bryant to second base. So for Benson Grandy, his job, pitch a shutout inning and get some help in the bottom of the 6th in the last at bat. What a job, though, Jackson Pickett did. And Derek Wagner having to go to his right to make that one-handed catch with the bases loaded. If he misses, North Dakota has the lead.
2 outs, people running on the fly ball. That's right. They're going to all come around.
Only fitting then that the man who did a great job in relief gets the lead off to start the inning. I always thought that should be a rule in baseball.
It seems like it is.
Yeah.
It's an unwritten rule, right?
At least in Little League. Make a great defensive play or pitch a big out and you get the lead off. Jackson Pickett doors the play of Francisco Lindor of Cleveland. The Indians have gotten hot latter part of the season here, challenging the Twins for the AL Central.
Francisco.
Good player, fun to watch too.
That's fun to say.
Brock Redfo, Landon Fletcher, scheduled hitters, although Drew Woodmansee has entered the game. He may bat. 3-1 down the line. Foul. A delayed call by first base umpire Dan Giedel.
Whether this ball's fair or foul, if I'm coaching, I'm going to have this reviewed.
And under the hood, so to speak, we go. I think it was a hit. So now what happens if it's a fair ball? I mean, do you give him first? Do you give him second base?
I think you'd have to keep him at first. You can't assume, I guess, it would be a double. That ball go over the bag in fair territory. Hit in fair territory, went over the bag.
You think it's fair, right?
I'm thinking it's a fair ball.
Ruling on the field was foul ball. Missouri with the challenge. You're allowed as many challenges as you want as long as you don't reach 2. And then after that, if 2 is unsuccessful, you can't do it. Let's find out. Foul ball. You're rather silent here, John. You don't agree?
No, I'm just thinking that's a tough call. Tough.
3-2 pitch to right field. Alex Christopherson back in the game. 1 out.
Boy, you can still see him battling the sun out there. 11 o'clock start. We mentioned the sun behind the press box. Got the glasses out there flashing in the sun. And he hauls it down, but not easy.
Looking ahead to the North Dakota 6, which could be its last at bat. 5, 6, and 7 hitters in the lineup. North Dakota has left 7 on base all in the last 3 innings. Brock Renfro at the plate. Fielder's choice and a 4th inning walk. 1 for 5 in the regional. Coming up later today, Great Lakes showdown. Win or go home, Illinois and Wisconsin. Shortstop. Nice play. Caleb Christensen, not much gets past him. 2 outs.
Vacuum. Love him at the shortstop position. He has been really good throughout this tournament defensively. I mean, you hit it by him, you hit it close to him, he's going to get to it.
Yeah.
And more than likely, he's going to throw you out.
Drew Williamson to Christensen. Can he do it again? Well, of course.
Cake.
I like vacuum, too. 3 up, 3 down. North Dakota, its last chance. 2 to tie. And 3 to win it.
Nobody left.
John Gregory, here we go. Time for the Honda Game Summer to bring you up to speed. Missouri's 2 runs holding strong right now. Pitching of Luke Beverlin and the relief of Jackson Pickett have been the difference. Cohen Epler, a couple of hits, an RBI, and a 3-base error by North Dakota, accounting for the difference in our game. This is the final inning of regulation. So Fargo, to continue its season, must score a couple or more. And we'll start with the number 5 hitter in the lineup. Andrew O'Neill has batted once, grounded out the second, just 1 for 12 in the regional. It's hot, so occasionally you got to cool off out here.
Andrew O'Neill.
Big chance, big opportunity right now for North Dakota. Last chance.
I think that's a little brother out there saying, okay, I got to cool off. This is getting too heated here.
Yeah.
I need to cool off and take a deep breath.
2 strikes. Jackson Pickett will be 13 years of age on September 13th. Says about Little League, it helps you learn about leadership. He is the leader right now of this team. Just missed. 1 and 2.
How about where Eggleston was set up on that pitch there, trying to get that strike? He was outside the zone. Good job by home plate umpire. He missed the plate.
Rick Strachey wasn't buying it. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Jackson came on, got 2 huge outs in the 5th inning when Luke Beverlin's pitch count had reached its limit. Both coming with the bases loaded. Hanging tough, though, is Andrew O'Neill. Kate Newharth is scheduled next.
Really impressed with how these coaches, and a lot of these coaches, call the pitchers, of course, and relay to the catcher and get that catcher to move outside like that, outside the strike zone even.
3 and 2. Andrew O'Neill has gone from a 2-strike count to a full count, which is important. North Dakota needs base runners. Huge pitch right here. And he has worked a leadoff walk. That brings the potential tying run to the plate. It's just like a base hit. Again, Caden Newharth is scheduled to bat.
Dakota now batting number 10, Gunnar.
But Gunnar Majerus, who had a hit in the fourth, will bat instead. Now Jackson Pickett has missed on 5 of the last 6 pitches. Time being called. John, you see anything different with his delivery after?
Not really. He was, I give credit to Andrew O'Neill. The patience he had at the plate to draw that walk.
Yes.
No balls and 2 strikes. That outside pitch, he could have waved at that thing, but able to lay off.
Gunnar Majerus is 3 for 7 in the regional. Now the count, 2 balls, no strikes. Ball 3. A bad one away from putting the tying runs on base. The 3-0. Runners at first and second, nobody out. Now time being called, and we'll have a conference.
Special pinch runner, number 7.
Special pitch runner, you heard. Cy Hassler will be pitch runner at first base, replacing Gunnar Majerus.
And we're going to get a change here on the mound, too. Jackson Pickett throwing the ball pretty good, but got away from the last 2 batters, and now they're not going to wait. We mentioned this team's loaded with arms out there. Pretty much everybody on the roster, but 2 players can help this team on the mound.
Cohen Epler comes in. He's thrown 1 inning in the regional so far. Not a lot of run or hit. Had walked a couple. Played in the U.S. SSA World Series in beautiful Destin, Florida. So he probably knows something about pressure.
Yeah. All of these kids somehow, some way, are either playing another sport, traveling the country. A lot of hockey players that have traveled in Canada playing. So up and down these lineups, when you look at it, multiple sports, multiple championships, and that's why they're here.
By the way, Aiden Strait, John, becomes the shortstop now, replacing Epler, who again is on the mound. Third Missouri pitcher trying to protect a shutout, more importantly trying to protect a win. Webb City is that close. Fargo is threatening.
The other thing you start to worry about as a coach in that first base dugout is you make the switch on the mound, you get a guy, you take a really good shortstop off of there, you get replacements in there. How do they handle things defensively in pressure situations?
This is pressure. Winner advances to the semis. That'll be on Friday against the loser of Iowa, Minnesota. Bunt right in front of the pitcher. Play to third, into the outfield. It's going to score a run. And for North Dakota, runners at first and second with nobody out.
Really good job putting the bunt down here to put pressure on the defense. That's Aiden Strait, the guy that just replaced Epler at shortstop, covering the third base bag. As I said before, it's always interesting to see how kids react when they come in straight off of another position. Can they handle it? Because they're just not used to maybe the speed of the game and how it's been going on. And certainly Aiden Strait can get it done, but that was a good throw. He just was not able to come up with it. And he's getting good support from his teammates, and that's a great sign.
Quinn Miller was the one that laid down the bunt. He gets credit for a sacrifice. With the error, a run in. Runners at first and second, nobody out. That means the tying run in the presence of Cy Hassler is at second. The winning run now at first in Miller. Another bunt popped up. And a diving attempt there at third base by Brock Renfro. Just missed. Well, if you remember against Iowa, Iowa got itself in a jam against Missouri by going to the bullpen, but able to hold on. Here's an opportunity, though, for Fargo to tie this game and maybe win it. Alex Christopherson, 1 for 4 in the regional. Ball and a strike. Little league.
Well, I think that ball didn't touch the glove of the catcher, and maybe it came off the umpire and really prevented the runner from going to third base here and getting two guys in scoring position.
I believe you're right. How about that? 1-1 pitch. But out in front of the third baseman. One play. Tying run now at third, winning run at second.
Well done, Brock Renfroe coming in. Sacrifice bunt, make sure you get an out. Renfroe comes in charging, gets the out at first base.
Man, don't you love Little League, huh? Is this fun or what?
Good stuff.
Caleb Brigham 0 for 1 in the game, 2 for 5 in the regional. Infield in to try to cut off the tying run. Headed to right field and foul. A base hit could win it.
Looking at the outfield right now for Missouri, playing really shallow. They've got to cut it off. Any base hit, and you mentioned, got to cut the run off at the plate. A lot of prayers being said in the stands right now.
Yeah. All right, is this tougher on players, coaches, and managers, or family?
All of the above.
Count a ball and a strike. The pitch. 1-2. Caleb Brigham thought it was outside. Now he's got to protect. Matthew Bryant would be next. 2-2. There is an empty base. Place alive here with a 2-2 pitch. Towards short. Into the outfield will score the tying run. Game tied at 2. Headed toward Aiden straight, got past him. And now the winning run at third base. And now everybody's got to come in.
This ball hit hard right between the legs. Glove not on the ground there, allows the run to come around. And again, to discuss the switch at shortstop, moving Epler to the mound. And it's just very difficult for a kid to adjust to the speed of the game if you haven't been playing it that whole time, and to be able to react to it. So you feel for him coming in there, and that was a hot shot hit to an infield that was in.
How about this spot for Matthew Bryant, which has struggled a bit in this game. Now he's got a chance to be a hero. Infield in every spot. Strike one. And look where the outfield is at. Sometimes you'll see in the majors, they'll bring in another outfielder as an infielder. Try to cut off the play at the plate. 2 strikes.
And for Matthew Bryant, the advantage goes back to him. He was facing a lefty all day long. Now he gets the righty on the mound in Epler.
There's the winning run. Strike 3 called. 2 outs in the 6th. Big strikeout for Cohen Epler. Not out of the woods yet, though.
Huge strikeout, and Epler's telling his infielders, okay, now get back to your normal position. I got that second out. You could see him on the mound. He raised the right hand, calling the strike.
Got to be careful here with Benson Grandy, who's a good bunter. Could lay one down, and that would be the game if Cy Hassler races home, or rather Quinn Miller, excuse me. He is at third. Looking to the dugout right now with the idea of maybe an intentional pass, or at least considering it, to load the bases. What do you think?
I never want to load him up and then one walk and it's over. More importantly here, you want to make sure you don't get a pass ball.
Ball 1. North Dakota is routed with 2 in the 6th. Trying to win it right here. Missouri trying to hold on, get to extras. Ball and a strike. Good cut by Benson Grandy. He's 0 for 2. 6 for 14 in the regional. What an ending here. 1-2. If we get to the Missouri 7th, we'll start with the bottom of the order, Dutch Bird. Plenty at stake for both. Here we go. Good recovery. Cat-like for Brony Eggleston.
He has been so good back there behind the plate, catching a hard thrower, now doing everything he can to prevent that thing from hitting the backstop.
Strike 3 called. Extra innings. Here we come. What a game. In a game that means so much to everybody. Not good. All right, now everybody in the stands exhale for a moment. easy to say, huh? Oh. 7th inning, extra inning baseball here. We'll play the 7th inning as we normally do in baseball, but in the 8th, if we get this far, and already Fargo's been in a game like that, we'll start the top of the inning with a runner at second for each offensive group and nobody out. John, surmise the first 2 hours, if you will, for us.
Really a lot of fun. I'll put it that way. Good baseball, good pitching, good defense, and wow, what a comeback here at the end.
Aided by a couple of errors. Attempted bunt by Hudson Bird to lead off the inning. He is 0 for 1 today, 2 for 4 in the regional. Bonus baseball. And really good baseball. We have seen -1 game in particular, the Indiana game. Some terrific elimination baseball. And I have to tell you, we talked about the top of these two teams having great earned run averages through 3 games. That can be atypical in elimination games. You can get some games that just are crazy and not well played. Not been the case.
I agree.
Down the third base line. And Hudson Bird reaches for Missouri to start the 7th. As the lineup now turned over to Andrew Young and the top of the order. Another look.
Quinn Miller was there, tried to backhand it, did everything right, just wasn't able to come up with it.
Number 6, Andrew Young.
Miller tagged with an error. Second error of the game now for North Dakota. Young showing a bunt right in front third base for Miller. Good throw to first. Did he get him? No, he did not. The reaction from Brenton Bird, the first base coach, is priceless. This is safe. And you know what?
Yeah,
Dan Giedel agreed.
And watch, he's got the big cast on his leg down there. What a great play by Quinn Miller to get there. And Andrew Young with great speed down that first base line. And this is where that speed kills. And I think that's a good call. He looked safe. And you got a coach in the first base box jumping up with a broken leg and cast on his foot. Now he makes the play.
Hey, what else can he do out there, huh?
Talking with him, he said he saved the coach's life in a practice. The ball was going at his head, and he said he stepped on the mound in between the rubber and the hole where the pitcher puts his foot and cracked his ankle.
He should be MVP of something, you know. 2 out, nobody out. Pitch coming back our way. Look at this. Yeah.
Feeling no pain.
Absolutely not. Cohen Epler at the plate, 2 for 3, and a big RBI hit in the 5th. Reaches out towards center field. It's dropping. It's a hit. Runner around third is going to come back, and the bases are loaded. And Cohen Epler now 3 for 4. Make it 3 for 3. He was not retired in the first. He walked, and 5 for 11 in a regional. And credit Missouri after a disastrous 6 defensively has come back roaring here in the extra inning.
First baseman, number 11.
And also Hudson Bird with a little help at third base from manager Brandon Eggleston, making sure he didn't make the turn.
Did everything but tackle him.
Yeah, which he cannot do, by the way. Bases loaded, nobody out for Luke Beverland, 0 for 3 today. Flied out, ground out, struck out. 2 strikes. No secret here. Randy's got to get a punch out. Ball gets away, and a runner coming home, and he is safe. And Missouri regains the lead. Hudson Dutch Bird scores the go-ahead run.
Bird hesitated for a quick second, saw where that ball was, knew it wasn't coming back to the catcher. And with his speed, he was able to sneak in there for the lead run right now.
And in the meantime, Andrew Young advances to third. Cohen Epler now running at second. Chance for a big inning for Missouri.
Especially with this guy at the plate here, infield in. All he has to do is hit it hard somewhere on the ground.
Poe. 2-2. That was close.
That strike zone has gotten a little bit smaller. It did in the 6th inning as well.
To the shortstop with a look, the throw over, and the runners are going back to their positions, 1 out. So Caleb Christensen, who has played a solid short, does the right thing. 1 out. Now Derek Wagner made that big catch with the bases loaded. Back in the 5th inning for Missouri. Ball 1. Aiden Straight, the shortstop for Missouri. He's got to feel a whole lot better now. A couple of errors in that 6th inning that allowed North Dakota back in it. Now his team is ahead and a chance to add to it. Tell you, man, you don't have to play this game to feel for everybody out there. Pitch to Derek Wagner. And now it's 3-0.
The saddest part about it, Jim, when these games are over and we come out of the press box and we see these kids and the fans afterwards on the losing team, so difficult because they're one of the best in the country.
Yeah, and don't feel like it at the moment.
Yeah.
All right, now 3-1. Derek Wagner, he's having a take sign on here. A bad one means a second Missouri run and a 2-run lead. Towards center field. And that may score everybody. Derek Wagner into third with a triple. Big time hit. And a big inning for Webb City.
Guess what? They
Want to bet it's family?
Yeah, they say Derek Wagner wears his emotions on his sleeves, and you can see that, him sliding to third. Well, I'm betting you somebody else is wearing their emotions on their sleeves right now that's related to him.
Wow.
Yeah, look at that. Oh.
5-2 Missouri on a 3-base hit.
That brings tears to my eyes.
Yeah. Derek has had but 2 hits in the regional, but none bigger there. And now North Dakota must try to regroup. First the hit, and then a moment, a look at Mom. After the slide.
Great slide, holds on to the bag, and
great pictures.
Hurry up, find her, give her a hug.
Oh my gosh.
That is priceless.
Brody Eggleston at the plate. Chance to add to this 5-2 lead with the infield playing in. This game was scoreless in the 4th. Missouri took a 1-0 lead, then added to it in the 5th, 2-0. North Dakota with 2 in the 6th to tie and force extras. Now in the 7th, however. And that's the right play, even though they didn't get anybody out. The idea there, you got to freeze the runner. And so it goes as a fielder's choice. And still just 1 out in the inning, but if you have to make the right selection, you got to make sure the runner at third is not going anywhere but back to third.
Every run so important right now, and Cece again fielding it cleanly, doing everything by the book. Just not able to get the runner as he snuck back to third base.
Double play set up. Infield still playing in and try to cut down Derek Wagner third. Popped up on the infield. 2 outs.
Here's the play. Communication, especially late in the ball game. 2 guys that are good defensively, making sure that ball's not falling to the ground. Fargo here has to be careful. Watch out for the double steal or something to try to steal one more run to get some more insurance on the board.
Brock Renfro 0 for 2, reached on a fielder's choice to right field. That's dropping. 4th one of the inning. It's now 6-2 Missouri. Another clutch 2-out hit.
The left fielder, number 20, Drew Woodmansee.
Now Drew Woodmansee. In an inning where they have sent 8 to the plate, now actually 9. This inning started with Hudson Bird reaching on an error, back-to-back infield hits. And then the huge base clearing triple.
Jackson Pickett, special pitch runner.
So after North Dakota tied it in the 6th with 2.
For Missouri as a special pinch runner, number 9, Jackson Pickett.
Missouri's batted around and scored 4. Jackson Pickett, who was relieved by Cohen Epler. Chance to celebrate with his teammates if they can get 3 outs when they take the field. The winner moves on to Friday in the semifinals to get the loser of the other semifinal matchup tomorrow between unbeaten Iowa and Minnesota. Four runs will be tough for North Dakota, but not impossible. Looking ahead to the Fargo batting order in the 7th, middle of the lineup, to begin with Caleb Christensen. Our game 2 hours old with plenty of drama. And another hour, we come back and do it again with some more theater.
I hope it's as good as this.
Yeah. Ball 4 for Drew. Missouri batting around, back to Hudson Bird, who started all of it, reaching on an error. Hudson's been a tough out in limited activity. And that's good for a number 9 guy. Bases are loaded, chance to really bust this open right now. Strike 1. Wild pitch in this inning, netting a go-ahead run. Then a base clearing triple. And then a hit to right field by Brock Renfro that brought in Derek Wagner, who had that hit. That's the scoring. A 4-spot in extra innings for Webb City. That's it. But what an inning for Webb City, one for its history. The celebration, and Mom cannot contain herself. And North Dakota in the Midwest Regional, Minnesota and Iowa, both undefeated, play tomorrow. That loser faces the winner of our game. That'll be on Friday. And then the winner of Game 10, the winner of Game 11 meet for the title on Saturday. The 2 runs that Missouri allowed in the 6th inning, despite the fact there were errors, were earned.
Caleb
Their earned run
Christensen.
average now for the tournament still a dynamic 1.56, and a major reason why they're 3 outs away from advancing. Caleb Christensen trying to get a monster rally going for Fargo, needing 4 to tie. Two balls, no strikes. Caleb 1 for 3 today. Base hit to center field in the 4th. To be followed by Colby Hansen, Andrew O'Neill. They hope a whole lot more. Two and two. Cohen Epler trying to finish it up for Missouri with a 2-2. Little nibbler towards second base, 1 out. No problem for a Dutch bird.
The first baseman,
Now Colby
number
Hansen.
12, Colby Hansen.
0 of 3 today, 2 of 14 in the regional. North Dakota so resilient, especially in this game, down to its last 3 outs. Headed to center field, dropping base hit, and maybe more. Hansen around first. Hansen around second. Outfielder falls down. Hansen into third. And that's where, oh, what a great throw, though, from the outfield. So Colby Hansen reaches third base with 1 out. Fargo's not done yet.
No quitting these guys. Boy, this ball just kept carrying out there.
Re-entering for North Dakota, now
Hansen
batting
with
number 13,
big hit
Ashton
again. Keeps his team's fans' hopes alive.
Single and an error scoring that play. Ashton Renas. Runner at third matters, but base runners right now, John, matter more.
More important.
Got to get to the point where you can get a tying run in position. Ashton 2 for 7 in a tournament. Ball gets away. Runner about a quarter of the way down. No reason to risk it. If that's the tying run, maybe
Yep,
a different decision.
Exactly. You just hang at third right now.
Need a couple of more people to get on base. 1 out in the extra innings of the 7th. Now a ball and 2 strikes. Again, ball gets away. Again, no reason for Fargo to take a chance.
Smart.
Which goes against every instinct you have as a base runner.
Yes. And you know there's somebody in the stands saying, why didn't he score?
Yeah.
Why didn't he score? Well,
Doesn't matter right now.
no.
2-2, 1 out, 7th inning. Webb City trying to close it out. 2 outs. North Dakota down to its last chance. Good pitch here on 2-2.
Breaking ball looked like it was up around the letters and just kind of dropped.
Re-entering for North Dakota, now batting number 10, Gunnar Majerus.
Gunnar Majerus.
Rally caps.
Pitch count 28-8.
He has been on twice today in 2 at-bats, a single and a walk. Cy Hassler became a pinch runner and scored the tying run for him in the 6th. I wonder if Majerus is thinking, why did I move on that? Instinct, I'm sure, just a reflex reaction. Ball and a strike. Webb City lost its opening game, so it's been on elimination alert since then. 1 strike away. left field. North Dakota still alive. 6-3. So Gunnar Majerus has had a good day at the plate.
Yes,
2 hits.
he has.
And a walk.
Looks confident up the plate, too.
Yep.
Base knockout in the left field and a big RBI. More importantly, just try to keep this thing alive. You don't want to kill a rally
Third baseman, number
by having that ball go to the backstop and you score a run and get everybody off the bases. I like having somebody on the bases.
Sure. Feels more like a rally. Quinn Miller, strike 1. If Quinn can get on, the tying run comes to the plate. Today, he has singled, he has struck out, he has reached on an error, but got credit for a sacrifice on attempted bunt. (6-3) Missouri trying to finish it here. Move to the semis. Cohen Epler to the plate. To third base, this could do it. Ball game. Webb City moving on to the semifinals. This Missouri team did not let 2 errors in the last of the 6th affect them. And how about the year Fargo has had this year? As disappointing as this is, to have been able to force extra innings.
Yeah, you can see the final out here. Ground ball to third base and an easy throw over to first to get him. And you're right. Quinn Miller feels bad about that, but her son, I think it's her son that got the big hit in the outfield, drove in the runs, and what an emotional ball game. And you're right, Fargo, what a tremendous year for them. You feel sorry for them because they really fought hard and had an opportunity to win this ball game. Didn't come to pass, but guess what? This Missouri team, they fought back through the losers bracket here and now have continued to have a chance to play for a championship.
And with this earned run average below 1.5 through 4 games, these kids are getting to be real tough to beat, John. Very soon, we're coming back with Wisconsin and Illinois, so everybody take a breath. Go have some lunch. Come on back with us for Great Lakes Regional Elimination Showdown, Wisconsin and Illinois. Nice job, everyone.
Whew, good game.
Yes.